Well, good morning.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, very briefly, can you please tell us about your area of work?
Yes, it's inter-religious dialogue, which is taken, and cooperation, which is taken very seriously by the World Council of Churches. There are two of us in the team, myself, who focuses on relations with Judaism and Islam, and my colleague Peniel Rajkumar, who is, I think, somewhere in this room, who focuses on relations with Hinduism and Buddhism. We have, in a sense, a threefold mandate, and I see our mandate as resourcing Christians and churches to understand why engaging with the religious other, people of other faiths, is not only important but actually essential in our world today. Then, as a central plank of what we do, is building long-term bilateral relations with groups and communities representing other faiths. And thirdly, once we've got those relations, working with them cooperatively in areas leading to peace and justice. If I may, one of the things I want to sort of ask your advice about is this booklet, which was, in a sense, produced for people like you, called to dialogue, and there are copies for everybody outside. And this is actually trying to look at the relationship and also the difference between interreligious dialogue and ecumenical dialogue. And it's really designed for people who often these days find themselves with the two hats of interreligious and ecumenical. Be very grateful, honestly, for any suggestions for a further edition, perhaps improvements, and whether or not you find this useful.
Thank you. Could you tell us about a project you're working on at the moment?
Yes, one of the key projects that, in a sense, reflects what I was talking about, how building the relationships between people of other faiths and the World Council of Churches leads to working together, is a project in Nigeria in which, coming out of a joint visit that the World Council of Churches made in 2012 alongside some high-profile Muslim leaders, we decided to work together to establish a centre for monitoring incidents of interreligious based violence, which was launched about a year ago, just over a year ago now, in quite a high-profile ceremony in Kaduna. One of the unique features of the project is that it really does try to be Christian and Muslim jointly working together, rather than one religion, as it were, inviting the other as a kind of guest. And the other thing is that's been both a joy, but also created sort of ways, made the working together a bit longer, is that we've wanted to ensure that this isn't just internationals coming in. We've wanted to make sure that the local Christian and the local Muslim community in Nigeria are very deeply engaged with it. And it's still early days. It's a project that we've received good financial support from one of the European governments for, which has been very helpful, and we in a sense see it as hopefully making a contribution to peace building in Nigeria over the next few years.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to say to ecumenical officers?
That actually, I think one of the things is to reflect on the difference and the similarity between interreligious dialogue and ecumenical dialogue, and also to realize that probably both forms of dialogue aren't short-term fixes. One of the things that sometimes creates a bit of a problem is to try and express our work in terms of short-term projects, and programs as we plan each year, because the very nature of building interreligious relations with people of other faiths is something that goes on and needs to go on over a longer period of time. We've just come back very recently from a meeting in Iran with the Center for Interreligious Dialogue there. And with the relationship, this was, I think, the 9th meeting that is with that group that has been going on now for over 20 years. And I could see that because that relationship is quite long-lasting now, it enabled that meeting to work at a social friendly level and get further deeper than perhaps might otherwise have been the case. There was a wonderful comment by Ayatollah Damad there, which was, he was talking about the Quran, and he said, the Quran is something, he was quoting a medieval Muslim figure, the Quran is something that can be like a ladder that leads us up to heaven, or like a rope that enables us, that leads us into a well of deep darkness. And I don't think that would have been the kind of thing that he would have said on the first occasion our groups had met. And I think it's something that I value in terms of my Christian, as it were, understanding of the Bible too.
Clare Amos, thank you so much. And can we give her a round of applause, please?
I haven't got a question.